Very good morning, everyone. Welcome to Current Edge 2026 orientation session. So this is 10th of October. And you know what is specialty of this day? In a couple of hours, the Nobel Peace Prize is going to be announced. And maybe this is the first time as a faculty or as a student, I have been following the Nobel Prizes for last more than 1 decade. And this may be the first time I'm having a real excitement regarding Nobel Peace Prize. Is Mr. Trump going to get Peace Prize for this year? And this controversy, it's not just come up right now, right? It has been in news in one form or the other till from the day Trump has become the second term president of United States. Let's see, we will find out this in a couple of hours. Now, from UPSC perspectives, how this particular news is important. See, if UPSC is going to frame a question on Nobel Peace Prize or in general Nobel Prize, what are the areas a student should focus on? Again, the controversy everyone is aware about, but it is not going to ask a question whether Trump got the Nobel Peace Prize or who XYZ person got the Nobel Peace Prize. But if a question is framed on this particular news, it definitely will be from either the history of Nobel Prize or different trends in Nobel Prize, or you can see some contributions of Indians in Nobel Prize, or in science tech, we have seen a lot many questions on graphite and a lot many questions on the particular technology that has been awarded Nobel Prize that year, and question has been asked on this particular technology. So these particular themes as a student of UPSC, as a student who is following the last couple of years pattern, were miscellaneous questions, especially on sports, on personalities. These kinds of questions are becoming more and more relevant according to UPSC. So in this context, these are the themes which is more important for a UPSC student. How many of you have felt in actual examination? Like a question come on last year, 2025, we have a question on INSTC. Now, there has been many news regarding INSTC, International North-South Transit Corridor. India has been importing from Russian oil since the Ukraine war started. We have been increased more than 200 times our imports from crude oil imports from Russia has increased. And since then, INSTC is in news, and we have started using this particular corridor for import of certain crude oil from Russia. Now, when we get a question in the examination, we get confused. We know the controversy, we know why this is in news, we have read this particular news, still what particular information we have been asked in the paper we are missing out. And why this is happening. Lot of students face this difficulty. Now, we have researched a lot on this why factor. Why it happens and why UPSC frames question. And lot of question, nearly 40 plus question, you can see some or the other current affair linkages in 2024, 2025. And this trend is not going to end. A lot of question like delimitation commission question, like the ethics committee question in 2024, I guess. A lot of last year's question we will see in this presentation itself. The theme of the question has been picked from some sort of debates that is going on in newspapers. So how to understand these themes, how to get a grasp of what exactly is relevant for UPSC. So this is all what we are going to discuss in this particular session. Let's start with a fundamental question. Yeah. Why did you fail prelims? Especially this is important for somebody who have given 2025 prelims and failed to qualify it, or any prelims before that you have given and you have failed to qualify it. And this is the most important question you should be asking yourself. And what we have gained, I have seen by interacting with hundreds of students, many a times we have a tendency to reject the personal lacunas in our preparation. We put the blame on external factors. UPSC asked questions like this. It was a completely different paper. It was a factual paper. I have only learned the concepts. And if fact like this is being asked, I'm always going to take it in the back foot. And that's why I lost prelims. And every year you see 12,000, 13,000 students are definitely going to clear the cutoff marks. So what is the difference between somebody who failed to clear the cutoff and while we have seen a lot of students who continuously come above this cutoff range? What are they doing differently? And what are you exactly missing out? What is the setbacks that is pulling you back in your prelim score? And this is the time to research on this. And there can be a lot of factors. How you revise, how many times you revise, how many sources you study, how you approach your test. It doesn't matter which institute test you are taking. If it is a fairly decent test according to the pattern, the current trend of UPSC, that will suffice. But what is important is your approach to the test. Are you simply giving the test and forgetting it? Do you train yourself to analyze this test? Similarly, the current affairs is also a very important factor. What exactly is your approach to current affairs? How you are making notes? Or are you making notes? So many factors. Even exam day strategy, how you are managing your stress levels, how you are managing your contact during the 2 hours of examination. So all this you have to ponder. And many times we know this. The very sad reality is we know we are not giving enough number of tests. We are doing certain mistakes. We have done certain mistakes last year, and that's why we have scored low in prelims, or scored in this range of 80s, 85s. Many students you can find in this range. And they're just not able to cross these 90s or 95s so that they can be sure of clearing prelims. And we know certain mistakes we are committing, and many a times we fail to correct this. And why we are failing to correct this, despite this is the biggest miss. As a student, you are spending your years, especially in your youth and in your prime, you are spending in your 20s, many years to this examination. And despite spending your resources, your age, your money, a lot of the factors, doing all these sacrifices for this examination, not reaching your potential, not performing up to your potential. And this is the biggest heartbreak you are going to have if you fail to clear this examination next year also. So these 3 months, starting from the ongoing October, November, and December, these are the 3 months you have to think seriously on this question. And you have to come up with strategies. You have to implement changes. And it is only if you are willing to accept your mistakes, and if you are willing to make changes your approach to the examination, then only you are going to see a different set of results. Otherwise, you are going in this spiral of committing the same mistake again and again and getting a similar result again. So this whole video, we are limiting ourselves to only one aspect, that is current affairs. Now, even within current affairs or within the whole set of students who are watching this video, only this video is for somebody who is willing to devote time to current affairs, who is willing to make changes to their approach to current affairs. And this attitude we have to go forward. I hope I made the point clear. Let's move ahead. Especially speaking about current affairs, the 3 big issues I have seen students facing regarding current affairs. Let's discuss each of these in little bit of detail. The first one, current affairs. See, for polity, if I want to learn polity, there is a lot of certainty. I will go and buy the latest edition of Lakshmikant and I can read it. I know the book is bulky, but the book contains everything. It is Bible of polity. Every student is reading the same book. Questions year and year has been asked from these particular books also. So there is no confusion regarding what exactly you should read, how much you should read. You have to read Lakshmikant. page to page. Maybe some pages are more important, the initial chapters, but there is a lot base certainty regarding this. If suppose I need to say environment I need to learn, I will go and learn by some other books, let's say the Shankar IAS book or other books that is available for environment. And that broadly covers a huge section of what I should be knowing for this examination. But when it comes to current affairs, and this is a highly dynamic subject, and there is no end to this, what all you should be learning. What all should I learn? There is newspapers. We start making newspapers notes. I have seen students from the day one of preparation. Like they come with a very big plans. They come with very read it. The exact wording will be the do it everything approach. They start collecting newspapers. They will be reading the Hindu, the Indian Express page to page, and they will be making detailed notes out of this. And in the month end, they will be having these institute magazines, famous institute magazines, including Vision or some other institutes. And they will be going through this. And I really appreciate this process. If you consistently commit yourself to this process of daily reading newspapers, daily going through the government websites, including PIBs, reading magazines, including Down to Earth or some other magazines, this definitely add great value to your knowledge base. But the problem is not with the knowledge. The problem is not with the content that is in these newspapers. The problem is this huge do-it-all-yourself plan. Is it feasible to sustain? I know every one of you, if you have studied prelims, current affairs for at least 1 year or 2 years, you have faced this difficulty. You start with a grand plan. You commit yourself 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours each day initially. But after 2 weeks, 1 month, that becomes unmanageable to persist. You are going to, the preparation, it's not a 2 months preparation, right? It takes 1 year, 2 years. Even the examination process takes 1 year. And if in such a long time, you have study issues coming in between. You have some subjects, classes going on. You have other commitments, family issue commitments, or other things associated with life is also going to come somewhere at some point of time. And what happens is these keep on backlog, 1 day backlog, 3 day backlog, and within a blink of time, it becomes 2 weeks backlog. And that is when you realize this whole system of making these huge notes or doing everything yourself, this whole approach, you cannot continue it any further. And the whole your plan fails. And then once the plan fails, then what is our substitute strategy? Many times what we do is we take this monthly compilations and we substitute this grand exercise of going through original sources with some XYZ institute magazines or compilations before 3 months before examination, 4 months before examination. Now, this leads to shallow learning. And this is where you're going to, like we discussed in the first about the Nobel Prize. And this is exactly where you are going to miss the essence of the news. For example, we have a couple of weeks, we are saying the protest in Ladakh. Now, we know something bad is happening in the Ladakh. We know this guy is being arrested by the government. Now, UPSC frames a question. Next year, a question comes on National Security Act. Now, very factual question comes. And you say, I don't know, this is a factual question that is from polity, that is covered in XYZ9. No, this is not a polity question. This is picked, even though the theme of the question may be polity or governance. The pick of the question is from the act or the protest that is going on in the Ladakh. And this Wangchik, this guy is, I forgot to pronounce its name. This guy is charged with National Security Act. That's why this question, this news, this law is in news. And that's why the question is coming from here. And if you don't have this particular understanding, you are definitely going to miss out. And this, any compilations are not going to cover news in depth. So first you start with a grand plan. Now your grand plan didn't work. You shifted to compilations or the ready-made capsules provided by XYZ Institute material. The problem with this XYZ Institute material is shallow learning. Like when I started reading newspaper daily, like if I'm following this Ladakh protest, how will I be covering it? Like it is never going that happening that in one day newspaper all this Ladakh issue is being covered. When the protest happened, it covers from the perspective of a security collapse. Now later, the next few days, the newspaper articles, if you follow, you see the root cause being highlighted, the fifth schedule, the demand for to be included in the sixth schedule. Which are the states in sixth schedule? And what are the extra benefits they are getting comparison with fifth schedule? All these things are being discussed in newspapers in detail. And later government take an action, like they took an action by arresting this person. Then we learn about this National Security Act and so on and so forth. So the news evolves over a period of time. And over this period of time, different multiple aspects will be discussed. And no compilation is going to feed you with all these aspects that is being in the air. And UPSC is going to pick the conceptual aspects or factual aspects itself from these debates. And if you're not covering these debates in detail, and if you're just happy with this shallow peripheral information of some protest happening in Ladakh, and you are never prepared for the current challenges this exam is putting before you. Another, inconsistency. These all things, three things we have discussed. Start with do everything approach, which in design is not feasible to be continued over 1 year, 2 year, a long period of time. Even if you continue, how will you revise this? You'll be having bundles of notes. 12 months of current affairs will give you more than 1500 pages or 2000 pages. And you have your own notes you have made into 5-6 notebooks. If you do it consistently, thoroughly for 1 year. And at the 1 month before the exam, where are you going to revise this? How are you going to revise this? All this lead to consistency, and the substitute learning lead to highly shallow learning. You miss what insights UPSC actually demands or UPSC actually wants. So these are, compared to other subjects, these problems at some level can reflect in other subjects also. But other subjects, at least we can rely on one set of standard notes. But this is not the case for current affairs. And this big problem, if mismanaged, the biggest loss is not just missing some current affairs related question. The biggest problems is when in January, when you start your revision process, that time a huge amount of your time you have to dedicate for current affairs. Instead of revising what you are doing, you are covering current affairs that happened 6 months before. You are covering these shallow monthly magazines. You are dedicating 50% of the day where you should revise into these current affairs. So the whole system mismanagement results in half-cooked preparation, which is a definite pathway to failure in prelims. In some form, this would have reflected in your preparations before. Let's go further. So the whole crux of what we have discussed so far, what is the takeaway? That is the current affairs. The challenge is not simply associated with the content. It is not that I give you a golden content made from some aliens. No, that's not going to happen. But what you need to devise is you need to have a system which can effectively, efficiently comprehend the current affairs problem for UPSC Prelims 2026. And this system should have different aspects. You cannot completely avoid newspapers. You cannot completely avoid previous backlog current affairs. You cannot completely avoid the revision of current affairs. You cannot completely avoid testing of current affairs. So all these themes, how you can do in minimum time, by giving your minimum resources, how you can comprehend the current affairs problem for prelims 2026. That exact solution is offered by Current Edge program. And this, what we have discussed so far, this is my whole objective, my whole agenda in designing the problem. That is to provide you with a feasible, practical system that efficiently manages your current affairs for prelims 2026. I hope you are clear with the concepts. I hope you are clear in line with me in thought process so far. So if you are understood this, the core objective behind designing the program, the rest of the discussion, what we have to discuss, these are different pillars, different sections of what exactly this Current Edge 2026 has to offer. So this is not what it has to offer, that is secondary. The primary objective is, the key idea is to evolve a system where you don't have to, like, your whole current affairs journey will go in autopilot mode. Let's see, understand a little bit more in detail what exactly the program has to offer for you. See, this, the first pillar of this Current Edge for Prelims program, that is the daily brief. This is, if you're following our Telegram channel, this is freely available for everyone. I have been posting this daily brief for last more than 1 year. And every day consistently between, say, before around 11 o'clock, maximum before 12, we have posted this in the Telegram channel. Now, what this contains, or what this daily brief is about, it covers 2 newspapers plus PIB. 2 newspapers, The Hindu and Indian Express. We have specifically, it takes 4, 5, 6 articles per day. And these are the articles selected based on significance, relevance for UPSC. And if some news is evolving, at least different debates articles we continuously pick from this. And if you read this, say 6 pages, 5 pages per day, how much time it will take? It will take hardly half hours to read the 5 pages. And these pages are simply not news content. This will also be associated with specific prelims related questions. Now, why we are doing this prelims related question? Because it's a process through which you can adapt or you can evolve what kind of questions can be asked from this particular topic. This is how you organically integrate the UPSC point of view or examiner's point of view into your way of thinking. So the Current Edge part, this is something you have to religiously follow every day. And if you want to still read newspaper, you spend for half hour or 1 hour on newspapers and spend half hour on these notes. Do not make notes out of it. I don't recommend making notes because we will provide this in a much prelims oriented form in later. This is current brief is to make you be aware of what is the happenings. And as I discussed, as news evolves, different debates we should understand. All those understanding can be developed from here. So this is the objective of daily brief. Even if the inconsistency problem comes, even if suppose Diwali is coming, so 1 week you are going home and you cannot study, still 1 week daily brief you have to recap how much time it takes. Spend 2 hours, 3 hours. It's just 20-30 pages. You can just go through it. So this problem of inconsistency solved through this current daily brief. The problem of not having awareness of different debates on a specific single topic solved through this daily brief. I will show you one classic example. So this is a prelims 2025 question. Last year, we had this question. Yeah. Which of the following are the sources of income for Reserve Bank of India? Now, every year, roughly in April-May month, the RBI will send its surplus to the government. The RBI will transfer its surplus to the government. And this is the news regarding it, 2024. In 2025, this is May 25th was the prelims date, right? This is our daily brief for May 17th, 2025. And what we have covered in this news. This is in the Telegram channel. You can go and check it out. See this heading. How RBI generates surplus. Sources of income for RBI. Returns of foreign currency, interest earning from forex transactions, XYZ. 7 different ways of earnings of RBI is given in your note. 1 week after, we have prelims 2025, and the exact same question has been asked in prelims. This time you will be much clearer why following daily brief is important. Let's go ahead. So this is the first pillar of current edge. Like to be aware of the current happenings, to be aware of different debates that is going on. Follow the daily current edge postings into Telegram channel. This is free for everyone. And take this system as a tool for maintaining consistency. Even if you miss 2-3 days, 1 week current affairs, read these articles and consider yourself as done for that week. And from next day, if you want to add newspapers, start reading newspapers again. Don't need to keep all these newspapers of 1 week or 2 week, which you have left, and it becomes unmanageable bulk. So these two problems are to be resolved through current edge daily briefing. Let's go ahead. Now the main part of the current edge program, the phase 1. We have divided the whole program under 3 phases. Phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3. Phase 1 will be running from the first week of November to the first week of January. Then we have phase 2 starting. Then it will be running till end of March. Then we have a roundup phase 3 session, which will be running till the 25th or 23rd of April, I guess. So this is the timeline, or this is how the whole program is designed. So let's understand about phase 1. What is the philosophy of phase 1? See, from word to word current affairs you have to be practically aware about. If you look at the last couple of years papers, the themes of question that has been asked by UPSC, it is not just limited to 1 year. It is extended over a period of time. 2-year, 3-year questions has been asked. But it is not humanly practical to go and research 3 years current affairs. If a 3-year before current affairs is asked by UPSC, it is the core happened before 3 years. But some of its debates will be still going on in news. That's why it is being asked. That's why we can see in 2025, again, I'm referring to the 2025 last paper, where there was a question on COP28. But if you look at when COP28 happened, it was much before. So how much current affairs you have to do. And here you have to take a practical decision. What we have done in this course from January 2025, we have covering daily news by news. And for all the work we have discussed earlier, the whole your do it alone strategy, like reading 2 newspapers, reading multiple magazines, including Yojana, Kurukshetra, Down to Earth, going through multiple government websites, including PIB, including PRS, different ministry websites. This on a regular basis, this whole mammoth of work that is required in current affairs, this work you outsource to us. And this work is being executed in this phase 1 of current affairs. And by doing all this exercise, we have compiled it into a system where you can actually process this information. And how this is going to work. And this is what you have to do. Only one commitment I need from you if you are committing yourself to the phase 1. That is, every week you will be getting a 50-page current affairs workbook booklet. And this booklet you have to learn in 1 week. You learn it one day, you give to this 50-page and sit and learn the whole book. You give 1 hour daily and learn the whole book, I don't care. But from November 1st week, every week you have to do this 50-page. Master this 50-page every week from November. And what I promise you is by January 1st week, when we are shifting our focus from any mains or optional to completely prelims mode into the revision mode, we will be completely clear, confident, and in control of current affairs. We will be covering the whole current affairs from January 2025 till December 2025. Every XYZ things. And for covering this confidently, what I need from you is to read these current affairs booklets clearly. 50-page per week, read it consistently, and you're done with your current affairs. Now, we know there is, depends on your level of preparation. Different student needs different levels. Some students may be able to read and grasp this 50-page material easily. Maybe if you are at early stages of your preparation, this is the first attempt in 2026 or second attempt, you may not be easily able to grasp the content in this 50-page. So we have these assistance classes. Every week, this material, at least the difficult topics from this material will be discussed in these classes. Beyond that, if you are still having confusion on any topic or any XYZ content that is given for the week study, you can directly contact us. We are completely open and available. So this is the phase 1. That is what commitment I need from you. Read the 50-page material. What promise I give you? By January, by the time you are starting your revision for prelims, you don't have to worry about current affairs. You will be having your own set of personalized notes. You will be only have to do the updation and some other theme-wise addition to this. You will not see current affairs as a burden hanging over your head. Let's move ahead. This is the, you can say, schedule of this current affairs. From 1st November, we are starting the first booklet, the workbook 1, that is already being released in the Telegram channel or in the website. You can go and check it out. 8th November, you'll be getting next, and so on and so forth. By 3rd January, we will be covering all current affairs news till December 2025. And this is the class schedule. And we will be having 3 tests, 50 MCQs, half-length tests regarding these workbooks topics or these months developments. So this test timings or the test schedules is also provided here. So this is all about phase 1. Now we have this phase 1 is running from November, December mostly. Now in January, the mood or the preparation should change, as you all are well aware with this schedule long before. Like from January, we are moving into the revision mode. The completely prelims oriented revision and tests and all this preparation. So it is this time we are shifting. We already covered by month current affairs. Now we are shifting into theme-wise study of current affairs. And the theme-wise notes of current affairs will be provided to you from January. And these theme-wise notes will be having 2 sections. One is the content you already have covered in these workbooks from January 2025 to December 2025. Rest, there will be updations that is happening from January 2025. So this is the broad structure for the developments that is we are going to cover in the phase 2. That is theme-wise understanding. And this is the, what is the schedule? This is the schedule for phase 2, starting from 5 to 10th of January, we'll be having 2-3 classes for each subject, and each subject will be further divided into multiple themes. And to give you a more information or more clarity on importance of theme-wise learning of current affairs, you go through this particular PDF or this particular slide. And what does this show is, this I have gone to the 2025 set B paper, and I have listed all the international organizations that is being asked in this 2025 paper. And you can see almost every organization you will be aware about. You will be heard. There is some developments that is happening in the news. COP28, every time Prime Minister itself goes to the COP and made statements. Paris Agreement, that is a Article 6 debate that was going on. Mineral Security Partnership, India has joined. India has different mineral partnerships that was going on with US. NATO, it is in news from Russia-Ukraine war. The whole crux of Russia-Ukraine war rests on NATO. BIMSTEC, BRICS, the annual summit, the BRICS 2025 summit, it was such a big thing that everyone is aware about it. European Union, related to some actions of or steps taken by European Union. INSTZ, as I had discussed before. World Bank, IBRG. So all these organizations you are well aware about. Now, if you learn these organizations in a scattered way, there is high chance we miss certain factual information regarding these. So what we do for international organizations is, in a one single material, in one single PDF, we'll be compiling all the international organization that has been in news for last 1 to 1.5 years. And this exact one single material will cover every single question from this. So this we can do for international organization. I just took as an example. This makes our learning much more connected, which makes our learning or our remembering capacity much sharp. We can do the same set of material for species, different species in news, different maps or places which is in news, especially these international maps, which UPSC is continuously asking for last 3 years. We can do this for constitutional debates in news, constitutional articles that you should be aware about in news. Similarly, we can divide this whole subjects into multiple themes, and this theme-based learning will be covered in the phase 2. So this will run till end of March. Now, after March, you are left with hardly less than 2 months. So this is time you should have rapid revision. Now, for rapid revision, or for, you can say, the final consolidation, we have the phase 3 of current affairs. Here, still I know, even I give you a plan starting from November, running till your prelims 2026. I know many of you will still miss out. I know many of you will contact me in the last moment asking for, sir, we haven't done current affairs so far. We want to do it now. What we should do? Especially focusing on those students, we have one single compilation file. That means it will be running to 200 to 50 pages. And this one single file will be covering every single news. Every single news we have covered in theme-wise material, in workbooks, in all other daily briefs, everything. Everything covered in last 1.5 years compressed into one single material. And last 3 years, consistently, this one single material has delivered 20 questions, more than 20 questions consistently. And why this is happening? This is because this is a proof of the level of hard work we have put in generating this content, in generating this material. And this is not a coincidence. We could have designed this course, we could have done this course by copy-pasting. There is so many options available currently. But why we are putting in the effort, why we are putting in the effort to go through newspaper each and every day, go to PIB website each and every day, go through PRS website when parliament session is going on? Why go to different ministry websites? How much ministries are there? We have to scroll through this ministry website. It's a boring task. It's a energy-sucking task. It's not just for students. It's for somebody, anyone who is tasked with doing this. This is a highly difficult task. Still, why we are committing ourselves to this? Because it is only then we have clarity of what exactly we are giving to the students. It is only then student can benefit. Otherwise, it's the whole process is just a mess up. And I personally don't want student to have a mess up content at any phase of this program. So that's why I personally took effort to do all the background work from original sources myself. And you can see this quality of the content in any of the workbooks. You can go and check different contents in our workbooks. You can check samples. Whole workbook 1 is freely available. You can check last year's this compilation material. Yeah, so this particular material will be released in the first week of April 2026. And phase 3, mainly we are focusing on one day you will be having sessions. This doesn't have any material because all the material we have already covered. This will be only the single day sessions where in one class we try to comprehend all of the current affairs, what we have learned so far. Kind of a quick revision classes. Okay. So these are the 4 phases of current affairs. We start from daily brief, which is a very critical pillar of your current affairs preparation. From wherever you are learning current affairs, it doesn't matter. But the program should have a daily component that we are covering through this daily brief. And this is free for everyone. Every day I'm posting this in Telegram channel at roughly around 11 o'clock. Fix a time for reading this daily brief. If you are missing out, go and come back and just spend 1-2 hours and you can cover all the backlogs. Second, the pillar 1, which is starting from first week of November and it will run till January. And if you commit yourself to reading a 50-page document every week, by January, you will be confident, clear of current affairs, in complete control of current affairs. You don't feel current affairs a burden standing over your head. This way, you can dedicate more time to other subjects, static revision. And thirdly, the importance of theme-wise current affairs learning. I have shown you the example on these international organizations. So this theme-wise learning will make the process of remembering content or interconnecting content much, much more easier. And lastly, we have this single document which will be released in the first week of April, and the phase 3 that will be going as a classes of these particular subjects, 1-day classes, which will be running through April month. And you have prelims on 4th week of May, and that will be a perfect plan for current affairs. So that all about program. Now, in conclusion to this, I want to speak a little bit more on current affairs workbooks. Let me show you one workbook. So this is the current affairs workbook we have released. You can download this from your Telegram channel, Kalam IAS Telegram channel. So what this particularly contains? So basically this first 2 workbooks, we have combined these months, like January, first 2 workbooks will be having 2 months, January and February. That's why it is having somewhere around 84 pages. So 84 roughly is, after removing all these ads and extra pages, it is 70 pages of content. So roughly 35 pages per month. Now, while developing this particular workbook, see again, I have no problem in admitting that I have gone through different options that is available in the market. I have seen 30 pages compilation per month that is available. And the problem with that particular material, absolutely, they cover huge coverage is being maintained. But the problem is there is such a dumping of current affairs, such a raw dumping of current affairs. For a student, how are you going to remember all this? For even if it is a 30 pages, it runs to 300, 400 pages at the end of the year. And 400 pages without any diagram, without any highlight, it's just dumping of content. How you are going to, you are not ChatGPT, you are not AI who can automatically suck the content. You have to get connected, you have to have a structured way of approach, then only the information stick as in your mind. So from that perspective, I have to dump such an approach to our current affairs booklets. Second, I have gone through various monthly magazines. I have gone through all the prominent institute monthly magazines. Now the problem with the monthly magazine, they are obviously good. They are consistent, many institutes. They are giving out these magazines in time with very good quality. Now the problem is, suppose I'm preparing for prelims. Prelims 2026 is my focus. Again, if I took 100 to 150 pages is the normal length of these monthly magazines. Now, if I collect all these magazines, it's again run to 1500 to 1000 pages, which makes my revision difficult. And more than that, it is not the 1500 pages that is troubling me. A huge section of the content in these monthly magazines, these are main-centric or interview-centric. These are opinions. These are information which is not relevant for prelims. You take any XYZ institute. The monthly magazine is not optimized for prelims. Why we are going to other institute? You take our own institute monthly magazines, which is a compilation of these current age daily briefings. You will see a lot of opinions, the editorials we are covering in this, and many of the editorials are opinions of these editorial writers. So these are not specifically prelims focused. This will be having content that is relevant to mains, that prelims, interview, and so on and so forth. So what thought has gone to my mind while designing this material is, we will not provide you any unstructured content. First. Second, I will not provide you any content that is only for mains or that is having no relevance to the prelims 2026. Each line of this document is made with such care that the information is relevant and important for prelims 2026. Now let me show you some aspects which has been focused in this current affairs. These all are the details of the program, the classes, number of tests you are going to get. All this information, this is available in the brochure, in the website, in Telegram channel. You can go through this. I'm not going to repeat it again here. So this is how to use this workbook section. These are the contents for last January and February month. We have selected roughly around 79 topics. So these 79 topics are compressed into roughly around 70 pages. Now, this is the first content. What is the debate that is going on? That is the controversy related to opposition to three-language formula under new education policy resurfaces. Now, what is the issue? This NEP has this three-language mandate, and certain states are not ready to impose this. Certain states, Tamil Nadu is not ready to impose Hindi, and they consider this as a tool of imposition Hindi on Tamil Nadu, and they are refused to follow this particular NEP mandate. And how center has responded, don't do this NEP, we are not going to give you funds under Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan. So this was the centers, around more than 10,000 crores of fund has been withheld. Now, this is the issue that is being developed, and this is evolved into a federal conflict between state versus center. Tamil Nadu has also gone to the Supreme Court regarding raising this particular matter. So this is what the particular news is. Now, again, like we have discussed the Trump question, what is exactly needed for Prelims 2025? See, Prelims 2025 requires you to understand the static aspects related, the most important aspect related. If a question is to be framed on these, the question mostly comes from what is the static aspect? What are the static aspects related to this? One is what is the language policy? What is the history of language policy? What is the constitutional provisions? What is the 8th schedule status? What is Article 343 speaking about languages? What is Officials Languages Act 1963 speaking about languages, language imposition? So these factual elements you have to learn. One more thing I have add in this, that is provisions regarding the Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan, which we have covered here. So current affairs learning means not just understanding the peripheral issue, but understanding the underlying constitutional aspects, legal aspects, and all different multitudes of aspects you can think about it. If UPSC frames a question, they frame a question from this background information, not from this peripheral debate that is going on in news, not with that how much fund has been withheld by center. They're not going to frame a question on this. They frame a question on language policy under the constitution, language policy under this 1963 Official Languages Act. And this, so whatever topic, the 79 topics we have covered in this particular booklet is also accompanied with this static connect section, which interlinkages every static information which has high probability of being asked. So your current affairs information, whatever information you are getting from this booklet, this is not the crude surface level news. This news is also interconnected with every static information you should also be aware about regarding these particular debates. Then another classic section under this current affairs booklet is the concept check. See this question, during just run up to prelims, we see here all these terms like understanding the examiner's mindset, understanding how examiner traps an aspirant, how examiner frames a question. Now, how will you understand this? By looking at some certain PYQs and watching one video, two videos just before prelims. This is never going to happen. If you really are committed to understanding the examiner's mindset, you have to be adopted to this mindset on a regular basis. You have to be exposed to this mindset on a regular basis. That's why we have put this concept check section. Now, what this concept check section, this whole news regarding this NAP, this whole regarding this constitutional aspect, official aspects we have read. But what the question is coming, the withholding of Samagra Shiksha Abhiyan, SSA funds from Tamil Nadu, due to its non-compliance with NAP's 3-language policy, raises which constitutional issue most directly? And you have been given 4 constitutional issues: the violation of doctrine of pith and substance, conditional federalism, doctrine of basic structure, judicial review of parliamentary privileges. Now, here you have to apply your mind. Here you have to, this is a highly application level question. Here you have to think what exactly is pith and substance. Suppose I am not aware of pith and substance, I forgot about it. I know some UPSC question has been asked in mains on this topic, but I forgot it. So there has been section provided to you. This question, there should be some information regarding the Samagra Shiksha Abhiyan. So add all these information. These things will be discussed in your classes, or you can do Google search on YouVeroo and add these all information into the sidelines, into the side provided. Even in the question, even in the content, if you can connect it more, add when you are reading this content, add this particular information into the side provided boxes. Every page is provided with certain boxes. See the second topic for one more example, the delimitation fears in South. So what is the context again? The Delimitation Act that is extended to the next census after 2027, that is going to be happening after this next census. So what is the current status? What is Tamil Nadu, and not just Tamil Nadu, the southern state mostly are fearing that they are going to lose if the allocation of seats is being done on the current population. And this lead to again a constitutional crisis. And this contains all this constitutional information, the articles, what Article 82 is saying, Article 170 is saying, what 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act has done regarding this. And all this factual static information is being covered in detail. And what UPSC has asked in last year prelims, not 2025, I think 2024, how many delimitation commissions has been made so far? 1, 2, 3, 4, and you have all these options. Now, seeing this question, you can think that, oh, this is a completely factual question. No, it is not a factual question. This has been in news. This has been covered in multiple articles in newspapers. This has been covered in our daily brief. This has been covered in our material also. It is not that you haven't studied the current debates that is happening to the required depth. That's why you are facing difficulty in understanding the question. That's why you are feeling that this particular question is a highly factual question. So all these debates, all these current linkages, all these conceptual aspects, application type, examiner mindset, understanding questions, all this will be part of this particular document itself. This document is not just a mere compilation of current developments or news. It is well connected with the static part. It is well connected with 50 plus questions is being provided to you too, so that by learning at the topic itself, you are also understanding from different aspects what kind of the different aspects from which questions can be framed on this. And it is only by doing this exercise for a particularly long period of time, you are going to actually understand the examiner's mindset. So on that note, we will wind up the session. This is all what I have to tell you about this current edge program, about this workbook. If you want to see the sample of this workbook, you can go through the Telegram channel and download this. If you want to be part of the program, you can go to the website and join the program. So that's it. Yeah. We will wind up the session here. If you still have something more to ask, feel free to contact us. You can even contact me through Telegram or through other means, or you can reach out to Kalam IAS official numbers and we'll be more happy to help you. So I think I have made you a complete picture on how you should prepare current affairs, what are the pitfalls you should be worry about, and what are the Current Edge 2026 program has in offer for you. On that note, we will wind up the session. All the best, and thank you so much for watching.